Hi Booktube, Aaron here. Hope you're doing very well. Today I'm making a quick announcement video for an event that will be starting at the beginning of August and I'm planning to participate. The event in question is Faulkner in August, which is an annual Booktube event where people read the works of William Faulkner. And this year, for the first time, they're reading a book where I've already read the book, at least since discovering the event. This is the first time that the book they're reading is one I've already read, and so I'm very excited to reread it and see how it goes. The book in question is As I Lay Dying, one of the shorter Faulkner books. This is about 240 pages long in this edition, so it's a fair bit shorter than the others that I've read by him. And if you don't know who Faulkner is, I thought I'd give you a quick overview, really. I'll see if it says here when he was born. So yeah, he was born in 1897 in New Albany, Mississippi. I think he spent most of his life in Oxford, Mississippi. And he was a 20th century novelist, sort of writing I think mostly between the sort of 20s and 40s, and most of his sort of most famous stuff came out in the 30s. So there's Light in August and Absalom Absaloms. They were both in the 30s. And I think this one was published in the 30s as well. Yeah, this was published in 1930, so I think it came out before As I Lay Dying, which I think was 33, something like that, and Absalom was 36, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so with him writing at that time, he's in some ways quite similar, or is quite often kind of equated with some of the other famous American novelists of the period. And so you could kind of compare him or contrast him to someone like Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald. There's someone else in my head, Steinbeck, I suppose, as well. And he's also part of a movement or a rough grouping and a style that is called Southern Gothic. So another notable writer in that movement would be Flannery O'Connor. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee is often labelled Southern Gothic, and Carson McCullers as well might be kind of included in there. So if any of those authors I mentioned are authors that you're familiar with, then you might have some kind of touchstone towards Joyce. Joyce? Well, I suppose Joyce is another writer that you might want to compare and contrast him to, but to Faulkner, you might find some similarities there. He's very much his own thing as well, though, being a writer of this period. He's a modernist. He's an experimentalist, and with Faulkner, and the thing that kind of attracted me to Faulkner, and probably makes a lot of people put down his books, is how dense his language is. So the language is very particular, very dense, very sort of very local. A lot of it is often in this sort of Mississippi dialect as well. So lots of sort of localisms or sort of things like that. So that's sort of stuff to bear in mind, that it's not always going to be very straightforward. His books don't always proceed in a chronological fashion. So it's just all stuff to bear in mind. This book, from what I can remember, is in some ways relatively straightforward. It's told from multiple point of views, so that's going to be maybe the main obstacle to a newcomer to Faulkner. And it's about a family, and the matriarch of the family has just died, and she wants to be buried in her hometown, and it's quite a journey to get back to her hometown. And so it's the story of of this family on their way, just sort of travelling to her hometown with the coffin on a wagon, and all of the obstacles they have to face, and all the stuff going on in their heads, all of the reminiscences, and the various sort of traumas and issues that they're working through. And there are certain scenes here that I can remember. A lot of it I've forgotten. I did find it very enjoyable when I read it, so I'm looking forward to see um, what has stuck, what I've forgotten, what might stand out in a new light as I'm rereading it. One thing that I'll be trying this time round is I might be sort of noting down the characters and maybe certain characteristics of the characters, because I can remember that was one thing I struggled with last time. Was I was just getting particularly the different brothers of the family muddled up, even though they're quite different. They have different names, they have different characteristics, um, but I kept on forgetting who was who. And so that's something I might do, is every time we're introduced to a character, I might note down the characteristics, maybe have a page in a notebook per character, and see if that helps. So, yeah, this is just an introductory kind of video to As I Lay Dying. I'll be participating, and I'm looking forward to see what other people have to say about it. There are plenty of other hosts and participants who have already made their announcement videos, their introductory videos. So I'll do my best to gather them up and have links to their channels down in the description. But for now, that's everything. I hope if this has piqued your interest, that you'd join in, and it'll be great to have you along. So for now, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.